All right, guys, we are back here on the channel, hanging out with a good friend of mine, Conor Kenny, out here in beautiful Bali after Token 2049. Conor, crypto right now starting to bounce a little bit here in 2024. How are you feeling? Of course, you and I both lived through 2021, which was insane. I know we've been talking. We need another 3, 4, 5 month stretch like we had in 2021. I think we're both kind of a lot better positioned now. We know a lot more. What are you looking forward to if we get that big burst again here in 2024 into 2025?
Well, something we've been discussing on the channel, right, is how right now in the market, if you were to be crazy degens like us, right, we've been positioning ourselves in altcoins really throughout the whole bear market, throughout the last bull market, all of that. And right now in this moment, you would have been better off just buying Bitcoin, right? Dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. Like I do a little test on my channel where we have our public portfolios and we just dollar cost average into what I think is good, right? And the chart right now where we sit, we have underperformed just Bitcoin. Now, 6 months ago, we overperformed Bitcoin by a long stretch.
Right.
So before we get into the nitty gritty of the degen antics we get up to, I want people to understand that you can get exposure to this market, a lot of risk and a lot of reward just from taking all the bells and whistles away, right? What you do, open up yourself a simple account. Coinbase, Binance, boom, all right? Maybe just Coinbase. You got access to it. The easiest possible account, right? Doesn't have any bells and whistles. You go in, you set yourself up a DCA strategy on Bitcoin and your dollar cost average. Yes, we might go parabolic in the next 6 months, or we might go down. But the key is we believe Bitcoin over time is going to be 100K plus. Some people think 1 million. Michael Saylor thinks, brace yourself, $39 million per Bitcoin. Yeah. Not our words, but Michael Saylor, one of the most prominent figures in the space, is expecting that. So does it matter if you're dollar cost averaging or buying over time at 60K, at 50K, at 40K, at 100K? Doesn't matter, right? So I want people to be aware that you have crazy amounts of upside just from simply buying Bitcoin. You take away all of the stress and all of that. You just slowly buy it. My girlfriend's family, I set them up in the bear market for a DCA strategy on Coinbase, the one I just suggested, once a week, $50 a week, boom, boom, hands off. And the percentage gain they've made is incredible. The dollar gain they've made just from $50 a week has been incredible. And so you take away your risk. But you limit your upside, but not a lot. And then if you want a little bit more degen, you just go for Ethereum, right?
Yeah.
And then if you want a little bit more risk than that, you go for maybe Solana. And then if you want a little bit more risk than that, you go for Casper, Soup. Right? So that's your hierarchy. We discussed this yesterday. So there's tons of opportunities out there. And then you get to the more degen space. We got the meme coins. We got the early stage gaming. We got the early stage AI. We got all of that. So that's sort of the hierarchy I look at. And then from the top, Bitcoin being at the top, the degen, meme coins, all of that, the amount of capital that I put in is less. Each tier it goes down, right? So super comfortable putting in a lot of my own capital in the Bitcoins. And then I pick a number, a percentage of my net worth, let's say a lower amount, right? And I just place it into different coins. And we can get into some coins, but yeah, that's how I'm looking at it.
I think what I'm hearing you say, and I agree, I mean, there are multiple ways to go about this, right? Like you can be a passive investor and do really well, buy and hold Bitcoin. But if you want to be an active investor, like we are, like we're in this space every single day, you can't be an active investor unless you are in it every day. And don't try to go in there and trade meme coins here and there. There's a lot of tokens out there. You can't go to bed before taking your profits or taking your losses, right? So just understand, kind of be real with yourself, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Do you want to be an active investor or do you want to be a passive investor? You can make money both ways by DCAing into Bitcoin and Ethereum and playing the long game.
And that's what we do. We do both, right?
Yeah, 100%.
We do the low risk, guys. We got to put the low risk in quotations here. But we do basically everything I do in the crypto space is to generate more Bitcoin. Yeah, it's as simple as 100%. That. I want the biggest stash of an asset that no one knows I have.
Yeah.
So like when I trade the S&P 500, or when I'm buying, sometimes I buy crypto miners. That's like very obviously attached to me. So the money that I have in those accounts, everyone knows about it, right? The government knows about it, whichever country I'm residing in knows about it. And that's fine to a certain point, but Bitcoin is this asset that, it gives you this sovereignty over your own money that we've never had before. We were discussing about gold. You know what I mean? Like, and I understand, like, this is the same for if you have $100 as if you have billions. That's the key of Bitcoin, right?
So true.
If you got a gold coin, it's there and it's in existence. And to a certain extent, you can put these gold coins under your bed. But you get to a certain level, right? And you're trying to protect yourself from, whatever the world might throw at us. You got all this gold under your bed, or cash. You come to inflation, you lose on it. But you've got these physical things, and they're just sitting there. And you're like, well, what am I going to do with this?
Yeah.
Really, right? Whereas Bitcoin is the first time in our existence that you can have any amount of money. You can have it in your pocket. It's not really there, but you have access to it in your pocket. No one knows you have it. You bring it cross-border. Imagine if you go cross-border with $10,000 of gold, $10,000 of cash.
Everybody's going to see it.
And they're going to take it.
And they're going to take it.
They have the right. The government has the right to take it. Do
Sure.
they know you have $1 billion of Bitcoin in your pocket?
No.
Of course not. So these are the things. So I'm trying to generate as much of this asset as I can by being a degen in the space.
100%.
Yeah.
And this is, I've heard experts like Raoul Paul and some of the macro guys talk about this. The best time to make money in new emerging markets are early, right? When it's all speculation. Think about the dot-com era, right? A lot of those companies didn't last, but people made a lot of money betting big and taking profits and putting it back into the companies that did last.
Yeah, or the S&P 500.
Or back into the S&P, which is,
how I consider gold.
Yeah, or Bitcoin in the
Sorry,
world.
Bitcoin. That's
Yeah.
100%.
So, and that's the thing. It's like every asset here is not created equal, but at the end of the day, if you can acquire more of the asset that is world-renowned, we've got governments, basically saying, hey, this is going to be our reserve currency, ETFs flying. Bitcoin's here to stay. We know that.
Exactly.
And we can stack our chips. So, yeah, man, I appreciate you popping on here. Make sure you guys subscribe to Conor's channel as well. I'll leave a link down below.
That's right. I appreciate it. And Zach, on that note, I want to get a little insight into, it's a little bit of a touchy subject, but when do you want to get out? When are you selling? When is enough?
All the way out?
I mean, we're never going to get all the way out.
Yeah, it's tough.
Let's say this cycle, from what we've learned, I think you've been the same sort of process as me, at least the last bull run, right? So what we've learned from the bull runs, when for you is, let's say Bitcoin's price, that's enough. And then your meme coins and your altcoins, that sort of stuff. Obviously, we're never going to be able to time the top and the bottom. We know that, right? But let's put it this way. What are some indicators that you're going to be looking for, whether it's macro or technical, that you're going to be, it's time for me to start shaving profits?
Yeah, I'll give you a few things. And this is all from making these mistakes back in 2021. One thing I did with my large cap holdings, now I didn't do this with every little thing where I have like a few $100 in it or whatever, but the ones that I'm holding a lot of, I went in and created a spreadsheet for every one of those and basically said, hey, these are my profit-taking points, no matter what, right? Because I think if you could take some of the emotion out of it and just stick to your game plan, even though sometimes it'll go up and it'll be a pain in the ass, because you're like, oh, I missed out on these gains. But at the end of the day, that feeling of taking profits too early is better than taking profits too late and having to round trip your bags, which I did in 2021.
Could you do me a favor and just tell me, you can keep the name of the project in if you want, but could you tell me a story that's like that sort of thing happened, whether or not you got in at the right time, out at the right time, or out at the wrong time?
Cardano. Cardano was that one for me. I went in pretty heavily around like 35 cents and 10x'd it. It went up to 350, give or take, I think. Didn't take any profits. Came back down to 25 cents in the bear market, and here I am lowering my average cost, waiting for it to hopefully get back there again in 2024 and 2025, which I think it will, but I could have taken all those gains, bought back in at a lower price, had the same size position or a bigger position for this bull run. So that's one example there. But the other thing is too, one thing that I realized was when everybody and their brother starts talking about crypto, right? When like your hairdresser or your best friend's, sister, everybody's asking you about, hey, you're the Bitcoin guy, you're the crypto guy, right? Which I'm sure you feel all the time from your friends and family. When everybody starts asking how to download Coinbase, it's usually a top signal. And
on that note, if you check a bit of alpha, if you guys watch the top downloaded apps on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store,
that's a good point.
Coinbase rises to the top. You'll see it. It starts to rise.
Yeah.
And then you can check the Google Trends data and you see search terms like crypto and Bitcoin. When people are searching for these things, it's not immediately the time to get out, but that's when you should start. Let the clock start ticking. Okay, people are here now. Because right now, depending on when you're watching this video, nobody new is here. It's 100%. Only us. You're watching this video, me and Zach are sitting here, and there is no one new. No taxi driver is going, oh, this is the new best thing. It's not on the news. I mean, Bitcoin ETFs are on the news, but they're not talking about Cardano on the news, are they? They're not doing this stuff. So when you start to realize that the mainstream is back, not necessarily your immediate sell signal, but your signal to start thinking, okay, what am I looking for? I'm looking for Elon Musk going on SNL.
Yeah.
I'm looking for, whoever the new rapper is at the time,
Yeah.
launching his own Solana meme coin. Or maybe it's a Sui meme coin, or maybe it's a
100%.
Casper meme coin. That's what I'm looking for. And when that happens, what I would say for my strategy this time around is I'm going to be taking profits from my big positions, right? The positions I've been building over time. I'm building now. I've been building in the bear market. These are big USD value positions.
Yeah.
I'm going to start taking profits from those, and I'm not going to get out of the market. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move this into USDT or Bitcoin, mostly USDT when we're very euphoric, and then I'm going to take chunks of that, and then I'm going to start the high level kind of gambling betting on, who's the guy, Lil Pump or whatever, when he came out,
Right.
You want to be in the trenches. You want to, like, when euphoria is there, you don't really want to have these massive portfolio, right? You want to still have some access, but you want to have some cash ready. Like, you're not out of the market. You're sitting there. You're putting your chips on the table, because this is the 100Xs, right? We don't get 100Xs in this market because no one cares.
Yeah, true.
We do big positions here. We ride with the big position. Then we take out a big chunk of that cash, and then we use some of that cash because it's gains, right? It's free money. Yeah. And then we start putting our chips on the table. Little Pump has his own meme coin. Boom, all right. $100. $100, that's 100X, 10 Gs. 100%. Take it. Another one. And so that's sort of how I plan to play this one.
No, that's a great point. And I know you're big on leverage trading too. Yeah. And if you start to get that idea that the market's going down, now you're sitting on a bunch of cash. You can start placing some bets on shorting the market too, alongside some meme coins. Because usually toward the end of the market, this is how it happened in 2021. The large caps kind of stopped moving. You still had some fun games being played with meme coins, but you could at the same time be betting on the big dogs slowly coming down, the Bitcoins, the Ethereum, the Solanas. Yeah, man, it's going to be fun. And it's crazy to think this too, right? That we're at $63,000 Bitcoin right now as we're doing this, and nobody cares.
Yeah.
And we just recently set an all-time high after the Bitcoin ETF. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
That makes me super excited. Like, where could we go when this institutional demand is met with the retail demand that we had back in 2021?
Listen, it seems when we talk like we got the tinfoil hats on, right? And to a certain extent, we do have the tinfoil hats on. But we're sitting here in the trenches, for lack of a better term, watching what seems to be so obvious. Yeah. Now, the meme coins, the altcoins that are smaller caps, it's not obvious. We don't know. We place our chips on the table and we hope one of them does well, and then all the rest doesn't matter. But for the Bitcoins, the Ethereums, the Solanas, the Suis, the Caspers, the ones that have attention, they're getting attention in this market.
Yeah.
It seems to me like it's just blatantly obvious. You know what I mean? Like, Bitcoin is blatantly obvious eventually going to go over 100K. So even if I just get a 2X in the next 1 to 2 years, if that's all I get, I have a substantial size. That's 10 years of the S&P 500. 100%. And I don't think people get that.
Yeah.
Right? In 1 year, I can get 10 years gain, then I can sit and wait for the next opportunity. Maybe recession does come.
Yeah.
Maybe it does. Yeah. But I've got this cash from it, and I'm chilling. And if we are wrong, which is possible, we can be wrong here. Certainly. Recession can start earlier than we expect. There's no blow off top. Nothing happens. But guess what? Bitcoin is still Bitcoin in a recession. So what am I going to do? Imagine we got 15K Bitcoin again. I'm going to be buying it. Like I did in the last bear market. Yeah. And everyone called me an idiot in the last bear market. If you guys don't believe me and you're new to my channel, go and check the lives tab on my YouTube channel and go back to the lives that started about a year ago. I did a couple of lives when we were in Nashville together, so about 3 weeks of lives. But the one just before that, talking about buying Solana at $20, talking about buying Bitcoin at $18,000. So I was there buying it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be buying it again because I believe wholeheartedly that Bitcoin and some of these altcoins are just the best opportunity we have.
Yeah, when you have high conviction in something like this, it's not easy to buy down there, but it's really how it's done. It's that reverse psychology, right? Everybody wants to buy on the green and sell on the red, it's the exact opposite.
Yeah, and then just to wrap the video up at the start, we spoke about, when I was speaking to you, we spoke about the DCA method, right? And that's some people say, that's a boomer method, blah blah. If you just do a lump sum, if you buy it at the right time, is going to be better. Yeah, but I don't claim to be a messiah. I just claim to be in this market, and I'm here, and I've decided that if Bitcoin goes down, I buy it. And it's simple as that.
Yep.
So Zach, I appreciate you coming on the channel.
100%, man.
If anyone wants to check out Zach's channel, I highly recommend it. If you want alpha in the meme space, XRP, Casper, some other opportunities in the market, highly recommend it. He's been in the space as long as me. So if you want someone else to check out, the subscription is down there. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
See you guys.
Peace.